The SmallCapPower CEO interview featuring Simba Energy. Simba Energy is an international oil and gas exploration company focused on onshore Pan-African opportunities. The company holds a diversified portfolio of 6 prospective oil and gas exploration concessions in Kenya, Chad, Guinea, Liberia, Ghana, and Mali. We recently spoke with President and CEO Mr. Robert Dinning, where we asked him to tell our viewers more about Simba Energy.
Simba Energy is an oil and gas exploration play which started out with this essential business plan of acquiring production sharing contracts, or PSCs as we refer to them in the industry. The company started with a property acquisition, but it's not an acquisition, it was an application in Liberia on the west side of West Africa. And from there, Simba has evolved into some property acquisitions in Guinea and also in Eastern Africa in Kenya.
Since we last interviewed you, Simba has made significant progress in further solidifying its oil and gas land packages in Africa. Can you give us a quick update on your Kenyan assets?
We signed a PSC in Kenya in the summer of 2011 and carried out the first year's work program. And in this program, we carried out passive seismic work on the property and have got the property and did a general work program. We're now at the stage in Kenya where we are going to enter into a contract with a company to carry out 2D seismic. And that's a relatively expensive process which will take 2 or 3 months to complete, which we plan to do in the early summer of this year.
What about your PSCs in Guinea and Liberia?
In Guinea, we acquired a 60% interest in a production sharing contract that another party had. We are in the process of also acquiring the remaining 40%. We've carried out an initial geochem analysis on the property, and we hope to complete that in the next 2 months. We're in good standing with the PSC, with the government, and it's only next year that the program will get a little bit heavier. If you mentioned Chad, we've recently acquired a PSC in Chad. It's just going through the process of final ratification with the government of Chad, but it's a very large block to the south of where a well-known company called Griffith Energy has some significant land holdings. And we are going to carry out a work program there, some airborne and some other geophysical work. And we'll be doing that over the next several months, but we have to wait for ratification.
Simba recently acquired a significant land package in Chad adjacent to the land package owned by Griffith Energy. How could a small company like Simba get such a coveted piece of property? Did you have to pay a lot to acquire this land?
No, we didn't, and that wasn't the process we followed. Several months earlier, we sent an associate of ours into Chad to go to the oil ministry to determine what was the process that we were supposed to follow if we wanted to acquire a PSC. We got the rules. We then went back and put an application together and came back and filed the application based on the way the rules were laid out. Our managing director of operations, Hassan, did a wonderful job of negotiating with the government to arrive at the final terms and conditions of the PSC. And then it was awarded. There was nothing unusual. We just simply followed the rules.
What differentiates Simba from other junior oil and gas plays in Africa?
Well, Simba's a junior company, but it has land PSC holdings in 3 countries right now, and is likely to get one in Liberia in the near future. And it has 1 or 2 other applications that it's pursuing, including one in Ghana. Simba has got multi-PSCs, which means that it's spread its risk. It's not reliant on one country for success. And I think that probably differentiates the company a little bit from other companies of comparable size.
We believe that your Kenyan property is the most advanced one and can attract farm-in interest from bigger oil and gas producers. What has been the progress there, and how do you plan to further advance that asset?
Progress is that we're going to carry out 2D seismic. Farm-in partners want to see the data that's derived from the interpretation of 2D seismic. That helps them de-risk the drilling process. And that is the next stage in Kenya. We're approaching the time when we're doing the 2D seismic. And we think by late summer we'll have the seismic data interpreted properly and then be in a position to discuss with potential farm-in partners.
Africa Oil continues to have strong successes in Kenya. Does it bode well for other players like Simba in Kenya?
Well, I think it's been very significant, because when African Oil announced its discovery in March of 2012, all of a sudden the interest in the juniors shot up significantly, including Simba. And the fact that African Oil has partners like Tullow and Marathon Oil, which are both very significant companies, onshore, is added to the lure of companies. There is a little bit of a gold rush mentality going on in Kenya right now, but it's very positive, and it's all along very defined structures. So we think we're in a very good position. We like the ground we have, and we're looking forward to moving it to a more advanced stage.
Simba has a strong portfolio of prospective oil and gas land packages in one of the hottest regions for new oil discoveries, yet the share price has fallen significantly in the last 6 months. What do you attribute that to, and how will that change?
I wish I could be positive about that, because there's a general malaise in the marketplace that I think affects virtually everybody's stock. Market values of virtually every junior company have been slashed. There's a mentality out there that if you put out good news, your stock will go down. And it creates an element of fear when you do have good news, because you're not anticipating your stock going up. There seems to be a general reluctance right now by the institutions to invest in the resource sector generally. Whether it continues on indefinitely or not, I don't think I'm in a position to say, but we see some signs of optimism that especially if you have a good project and you've got good targets, we're optimistic that we can be financed, and that should help enhance our stock value.
What are the major short-term catalysts for the company and your goals for 2013?
We're going to carry out 2D seismic. Farm-in partners want to see the data that's derived from the interpretation of 2D seismic. That helps them de-risk the drilling process. And that is the next stage in Kenya. We're approaching the time when we're doing the 2D seismic. And we think by late summer we'll have the seismic data interpreted properly and then be in a position to discuss with potential farm-in partners.
What do you plan to do to unlock the value for shareholders in the coming years?
Complete the work program that we've outlined.
You can stay on top of the Simba Energy story by visiting their SmallCapPower Investor Hub. SmallCapPower.com, investment ideas and research.